NFC North. I'm going first. I I'm not even gonna go with the team that I think is gonna win the division. I am just so anti-Lions now. I am so anti-Lions. They are getting crazy hype, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Chill out, man. And it sucks because I love Dan Campbell and I think he's a good coach. But I'm hearing just too much bravado confidence in them being like in it, like in the conversation of like winning like
They're
the
like
whole
top four in the NFC and power rankings and stuff.
yeah. And so like I don't see them. I, everything looks good, but like they're I'll say it like this: like the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, and then that next year, people were like still counting them out, like saying it was a fluke, like saying it was nothing. Like they're not gonna like they'll be back. Remember that freaking douche guy on the cowherd? What's that?
Jason
Jason
McIntyre.
that
Yeah.
that dickhead. When he came out, he was so confident. Oh, my first bet was going to be freaking
No
nerd.
playoffs, Bengals.
So, oh my gosh, that freaking dipstick. And so the fact that the Lions just won like they won 9 games last year, and so people are already like giving them this like rug to
Mm.
like lay your grace.
Started the
And
season like 1-5, by the way.
yeah, like I don't know. I think Jared Goff showed his cards, showed he was good at. They don't have Jamison Williams for 6 games, right? So that's a thing.
Lost to Hawkinson.
Lost Hawkinson. And then another thing was I still don't feel like they uh, fully got the defense right. I still don't think they got it all together. And so I'm off on them, but I like the Vikings. I think the Vikings should win the division. I think if everything just goes like last year, and Matt Eberflus, and that was year one, if we remember. Like if we under like that was year one under Matt Eberflus with an Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, and I think this is an upgrade getting rid of Thielen and having Jordan Addison in there. That is an upgrade, and so I think the Vikings have crazy potential to be in the big dance. And we never thought Kirk Cousins could do it, but I think there's a chance. I don't know what the whole Dalvin Cook thing and Madison. I don't know what all this stuff is. I feel like it's smoke, but I feel like if either guy's there to play, they'll be able to get it
So they're
done.
trying to get rid of him for like a cap casualty because they're getting ready to sign a big contract to Justin Jefferson. And I
Mm-hmm.
think they think that Madison is capable of taking over like the backfield, basically.
Okay. Okay. So I just want that to be like figured out already. It's
Yeah.
getting annoying. Um, but Hack, what do you got for this division?
Yeah. Can y'all just tell me who Hawkinson went to?
Oh, I forget.
Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings.
That's
So
good.
it's only fitting that I would choose the Minnesota Vikings.
No.
I think this is the easiest division to choose,
Ooh, I have a
other
very different take
than
than you.
Mm.
the Chiefs. But even with that one, like I said, I think that gap narrows to 1 or 2 games. I think this one still stays like 2 or 3, maybe even 4, like it was last year,
Yeah.
of a gap. I know, like Miles said, there is such a hype on the Lions, but I just really, really trust the Vikings. Like, yeah, they may not be top 3 in the NFC,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't need to be. At like, you get to the playoffs, you win your division, you get to the playoffs, and then at that point, like, best team that night wins. And so they just added, Jordan Addison, who I think will be great, along with Justin Jefferson. Already mentioned they had TJ Hawkinson. And so I just really like this offense. I think they got better. Yeah, there's that whole running back thing. And so maybe that gets into the locker room and like spreads around and all of that stuff.
I think
And
he's a
very
captain too.
possible. Yeah. So very possible that like the locker room just doesn't have that camaraderie like
Mm-hmm.
the Lions definitely will have. But as far as like on paper, I'm taking the Vikings every time.
All right. And then Brosick, go ahead.
I was gonna go with the Vikings, but I just can't go with Kirk Cousins anymore. Kind of how y'all feel about the Chargers. I keep thinking, oh no, Kirk is going to take the next step. Kevin O'Connell is going to come in and really just take off his career. They're going to get Addison and Hawkinson, and he's still going to throw it, 3 yards behind the sticks on a fourth down to, advance in the playoffs against the Giants. That's what Kirk Cousin is. And like, I just can't ride with them anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm actually going to go with the Green Bay Packers here. I
I
really,
like that one.
I
really
like it.
think,
I like
Like
that.
it.
I really think that they have
Oh,
the best
you're
I
right.
like it.
team around
My hair's
Jordan
sticking
Love to
up.
go be successful. Jordan Love's been learning behind one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He gets two receivers that are going into year two, have that confidence about them now. Jaden Reed out of Michigan State, we saw him at a Senior Bowl, lighting people up.
Mhm.
And then you have two veteran running backs in AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, who all just complement this kid so well. You get two stud tight ends in Musgrave and blanking on the other one,
Croft.
Croft. So safety blankets for a young quarterback. And then I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to have one of the top defenses in the NFC going into next year. People forget how good Quay Walker is coming out of Georgia.
Mm.
Rashawn Gary is a monster. Devontae Wyatt, they go get Lucas Van Ness. All these guys in the front seven on top of Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes on the outside. I
Mhm.
just really think that this team is set up with veteran coaches as well to make a deeper run than people think.
Alex, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll sum up the way I feel about the division. I'm going down Lions, Vikings, up Bears, Packers. I think this division is the most wide open of any division in the NFL. I think all four of those teams that I just said are going to sit around 500. I think the top team in the division could win 9 games and the worst team could win like 7 or 8. I was hot on the Vikings last year. Remember, Miles, I said the Vikings were going to win the division. This team has one of the worst defenses in the league, and they didn't get better. And I think that the Dalvin Cook like trade rumors and all that are them kind of saying like we can't compete, like we can't compete with the NFC. And so I just think you have to go back to like the bread and butter of football, and that's playing really good defense. And I don't trust the Vikings at all. The Lions, I agree with you, Miles. I think they're just very overhyped by the public. This is a team that obviously they have a great O line, but their defense has question marks. They didn't start off the season very well. They're getting unwarranted hype. Here's a team like the Packers, who have a really good roster. Aaron Rodgers was kind of not really into it last year. Jordan
Mhm.
Love can come in and be, if he's at least viable, that's a really good team. And then the Bears, they made insane offseason moves. They're gonna have probably the best offense in that division. You got DJ Moore, freaking Mooney, Claypool. You got Tanya and Komet. That all three of those running backs, Justin Fields, like that offense is going to be incredible. And I just feel like that whole division is just completely wide open to me. And the fact that people are just saying Lions, Lions, Lions is very strange. So
Yeah, it's oh good. What do you got, Brosik?
The one thing I want to say with the Vikings, though, if they can get the defense figured out, that takes less pressure off Kirk Cousins to, I think, maybe not make as many mistakes. And the only shining bright light that's going to do that is them bringing in Brian Flores from Pittsburgh to be the DC because
Mhm.
he did his thing over there. He had a
That's
really good
good.
defense when he was with Miami. So with the draft additions that they made, getting Davenport from New Orleans, getting Marlin from Arizona to play corner with the other guy from Georgia that they could really take that next step and maybe be a more balanced team. But I'm still rocking with the Packers for right now.
I
Yeah.
am like being convinced. I'm gonna stick with the Vikings just because I picked them. But as I'm looking at the point differential last year, like Vikings were -3
yeah,
and won 13 games. Like that just tells you a lot. And I don't know. I remember so many times we've talked about it, and then I guess I just forgot like how bad this team actually was compared to their record.
remember that Colts game that they were down
And
like 30 points. They came back, obviously. The Cowboys
yeah.
completely beat up on them. The
Um,
Giants beat them in the playoffs.
and then the Packers were -1 point differential and have gotten a lot better this offseason. So I do think there is a very, very good chance that y'all are right with the Packers.
Yeah.
That Brian Flores is really good. That
Yeah.
take. That's
Yeah.
that's a really good mention. So
I feel like if we fast forward and any of these teams win the division, I just really wouldn't be shocked at all. I think a lot of them are just going to be very competitive with each other.
mhm.
And Brosik made a good point. Like the Packers have the best defense in that division. And
Yeah.
if Jordan Love with that backfield, if Jordan Love can just be okay, I mean that team's gonna be up there. Like I don't know why they can't be what they were last year. I mean they were pretty bad last year and they still won what 8 games or whatever. So
They were playing that last game to get into
exactly
the playoffs,
right.
so I
It's
could
like
see them
how
being
can Jordan
in that
Love not do
situation
that?
again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I agree that division's pretty wide open.